We got more begging, and somehow there's always money for nails, cologne, TVs, and a cart full of junk food. And now one single mom with 3 kids just snapped demanding $800 per child monthly, like it's a salary. This is what you call entitlement abuse, while real working Americans are being robbed blind. Let me show you.
I feel like food stamps should be mandatory for mothers that have one or more child. Stay with me now. If we are qualified to receive a certain amount of money during tax time, as long as we don't go over that income bracket, we should qualify for food stamps every month for these children. I have 2 boys. Food hate to see them coming. When I say I stay in Walmart, Walmart need to go ahead and sponsor me, because I be up in there every other day. I just made groceries a few days ago. I had to go back to the store today. So all I'm saying is, if we are entitled to claim our children on our income taxes every year so we can receive a little bit of extra money, I need the government to have that same energy. And I need them to give us at least $100 per child.
So let me get this straight. You don't just want food stamps. You think the government should be required to give you $800 per child no matter what. Meanwhile, the taxpayers, the ones actually out here feeding their kids with their own income, are being left with crumbs. This is the Democrat welfare trap in full display. Create dependence, reward irresponsibility, and punish effort. And they call that equality. And it definitely gets worse, y'all, because while she's demanding more, the people who actually work are being told they make too much.
Everybody mad at Trump about these food stamps. And I just want to put my little 2 cents in because I'm a little jealous. I mean, I see a lot of people crying. I see the woman getting on here crying, talking about how she can't get food stamps. I see people around here talking about they can't work, how they supposed to provide food. And to me, I feel like it's been time. Food stamps is not something you're supposed to live your life on. And that's what we go a little crazy about. Food stamps is not something you're supposed to be living your life on. And that's why food stamps is not doing what it's supposed to do. Food stamps is supposed to help you get ahead and stay ahead. And maybe if you fall backwards or you fall down, you can get some help. But the ones who really just want help to get somewhere and have something, we can't do that. Because every time we turn around, it's too many people that won't get off of it. So I will never forget having my daughter at 21. I got WIC. WIC was cool. But when it came to food stamps, they told me I was making too much as a CNA. A CNA. And I think back then as a CNA, it was like $9.50 an hour. $9.50 an hour. To the point where I started stripping to feed my child. Because on top of that, my child had an allergic reaction to the milk. And I wasn't producing milk. So I literally had to go out of my way and buy milk out of pocket for my child. I'll never forget that. And then I remember being pregnant, signing up for Section 8. I was pregnant. I didn't get the letter to say, like, come down and show my paycheck stubs and everything. Like, not even a letter that, hey, you approve, you about to get a house or an apartment. A letter just saying, like, hey, it's time for you to re-show all your information. And when my daughter was 5, she was 5 years old. The only time I can remember getting food stamps is when I would transfer from a job to another job. If I knew I was getting a better job, I would apply for food stamps to say I'm not working. That's the only time I would get food stamps. And not even to mention, back then, I don't know how it is now, but every 6 months, you would have to sit there and redo your food stamps. So they know your social. So by the time for you to redo your food stamps, okay, you made $500 a week. That's too much money. Literally, I never stayed in a government assistance. The only time I can remember even getting any type of assistance when it came to food is when I was going from one job to another job. So I had like a little two-week break to be able to say, hey, I'm not working. I think it is ridiculous that it is people that's out here that actually get up and bust their ass every day and just need a little bit of help and they can't get it. It hadn't got to a point where you couldn't get food stamps if you was in school. I remember sending my sister my food stamp card all the way in Tallahassee so she could have something to eat because she was in school, a full-time student, and they denied her. Now don't get me wrong, the struggle is real because we both doing good now, but I think it's ridiculous. You really do have people out here that just need a little bit of help, and that's not getting the help just because they're trying. But because when you don't try, you do get your food stamps or your assistance, then it's okay. But are we really ready for that conversation? It is time to have a limit on how long we use this. It is time for the next generation to use it if they need it. Like, it is time for middle class people to get an extra $200 a month. I don't give a freak. Teachers are only making, especially in Florida, teachers are only making $40,000 to $50,000 a year. And if you think that can cover food, house, car, all of that, you literally you went to school, went to college, did all of this to teach somebody else's child, and you can't even afford to feed your own children. Yes, it is time. It is time for the middle class to get some help. Now, I ain't agreeing with everything that's going on in the world today, but I just really had to speak on the food stamp situation because I do think it is time. It is definitely time for people to get kicked off of it. It's time. You done been on that since you was 19 and you 50 years old. It's time. It's time to put a time limit on it. I do feel like, okay, you get 3, 4, 5 years at the max, then it's time for you to move on. You should be okay by the end. At least okay to do something. You should have been saving some money and doing something. I really get pissed off myself to see people able to get their nails done, hair done, toes done, and then turn around and they living on Section 8, paying $12 a month. And let's have the debate saying, oh, just because you're on Section 8 doesn't mean that you're not paying rent. Let me tell you something. I have 4 stepsisters, and every last one of them, when I seen them on low income apartment, the highest rent I seen them pay was $12 a month. So I'm just saying, it is time that the middle class that works and busts their ass every day and make sure that the lower class get their food stamps, because that's where the money coming from, get their food stamps. It is time. It is time we get a little break too. It's time we get the little sleep in too. It's time we get to hit the alarm clock too. I'm just saying, it is time.
No, this woman right here is a CNA. I think, $9.50 an hour? Couldn't even get food stamps to feed a newborn? I'm not saying she make $9.50 an hour now. I can't remember right now. But it was so much. My memory isn't that far stretched. But so what does she do though? She stripped to survive. But now she watches people who refuse to work get full benefits. Nails done, hair did, everything did, y'all. Rent paid, groceries. Yeah. And now she's supposed to just accept it. This is the dark underbelly of the welfare state that the Democrats don't want to talk about. And they wonder why more Americans are walking away from that party. Because real providers are being told no, while professional victims get rewarded with that big old yay. All these yeses they're giving out. And if that didn't hit hard enough, the next woman, an 86-year-old mother, can't even qualify for food stamps while healthy adults are eating like kings.
So the girl gets on and makes a video about how she's mad because her food stamps are going to get cut. I think she said she got like $1,000. Now she getting like $300. She was talking about she got so many kids, maybe 3 or 4 kids, and how hard it's going to be. And then they trying to regulate what she can buy with the food stamps. I don't know how true this is, but I'm going to give you my opinion. This is my honest opinion about these food stamps, because I ain't never got none. My mama 86 years old and can't get no food stamps. But people that are healthy and able to work are able to get thousands of dollars of food stamps. I went to the grocery store the other day and I worked, and I had to second guess some stuff. Look at it twice, because I put some shit back because I had to buy groceries out of my own money. See what I'm saying? That's what you do when you have to buy groceries out your own money. Y'all mad because now they saying that you only going to be able to buy certain products with the food stamps. That's what you should do, because most of them that getting food stamps, they be honest, they ain't working, they ain't doing nothing. Why you ain't cooking no dinner? I'm cooking dinner before I go to work, trying to make healthy choices and on a budget when I go grocery shopping. But these folk mad because they had $1,000-something worth of food stamps and they being cut. I ain't never had no food stamps and don't want none, because I'm glad that God gives me the grace and the mercy over my life that I'm able to work and provide for my kids. And guess what else I ain't gonna do? I ain't gonna have 4, 5, 6, and 7 kids trying to feed them because I know I'm gonna get food stamps. See, somebody that don't get food stamps, you very careful to how many kids you get, because you know you got umpteen mouths to feed and you can't afford it. See, around here when you work, you got to be on a budget, and we very careful what we buy at the grocery store. You don't see people that, you can tell people in the grocery store that ain't got no food stamp. Look at that budget. Very little stuff in there. The stuff matching, like meal to meal is matching. You see that. But when folk got food stamps, you can tell, because they got 2 and 3 buckets full of a bunch of mess, crap, and junk that ain't healthy for your kids. I agree. If Trump cutting them food stamps down and stuff like that, I agree. Maybe my mama can get some now, who has worked all her life and told me to work so I wouldn't have to get on food stamps. So when I got to my age of 86, I hope God bless me like she 86, that the government gonna take care of you, which they're not, because all these healthy folk are getting all the food stamps. I said what I said.
Yeah, she said it plain. You got people with 2 working legs, a sound mom, and no job getting $1,000 more or better in benefits every month. But an elderly woman who worked her whole life denied. Why? Because under this system, effort is punished. You know, dependency is more profitable for them. And who built this system? Yeah, the same Democrats who pretend they're for the people. They weaponized compassion, turned poverty into a profession, and then slapped the party logo right on top of that. But now let's talk about how these benefits are really being used.
My customer paid for her nails and food stamps, which is something I've been doing for years. So here's the breakdown. $100 worth of food stamps gets you $50 worth of nails. This set was $150, so she gave me $300 worth of food stamps. Basically, the food stamps have like half the value of what cash would. However, some people have to do what they have to do. And I don't just take food stamps. I take gold, furniture, TVs, colognes, car parts. And I know a lot of you guys are going to be sticking up your noses and trying to judge me. But it is what it is. It's something that I've been doing for a very long time. You know, I was born and raised in the hood. You get it how you get it. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Leave a comment below. I know this is going to be super controversial, and it might even piss some people off. But hey, this is social media and everybody has a difference in opinion.
So let's just call this what it is. Black market government assistance. You trading food meant for your kids for nails, TVs and cologne. And people wonder why they talk about restrictions and cuts. When you abuse the system, you hurt the ones who actually need the help. That's the biggest problem with this. But no one wants to say that out loud because it's controversial. No, it's just the truth. But it doesn't stop there, because the next woman exposes an entire underground EBT scam happening right in your neighborhood.
I just learned about a insane food stamp scam that I have to tell somebody about. Nobody in my real life is going to care, so where else am I going to go but TikTok? And before I tell you the story, I need to preface it by saying, obviously, not everybody on food stamps does this. That's a given. If your aunt who's on food stamps doesn't do this, you don't need to come to the comments and say this isn't everybody. That's a given statement. However, this is factually something that's happening, at least here in my state, and I feel like other people need to know about it. And I need to know if it's happening in your state too.
Okay.
So some people that are on food stamps will go down to their like corner store grocer. So like think like small market, right? Like chips, sodas, that kind of stuff. They get an array of different groceries, some paper towels, usually like just dry products that aren't perishable, non-perishables, okay? I saw this firsthand. They bring it up to the register, and the clerk will ring them up for whatever it rings up to be, and they charge their EBT card for it. Then they will give the person that has the food stamp card, the EBT card, half of whatever it rung up to be. So if it's going to ring up to $60, they're going to give them $30. They hand them $30 in cash. Person with the food stamps leaves with the cash, and the clerk puts back the items back on the shelf. Genius on the clerk's end, if you think about it, because they're not losing anything. They're getting paid for nothing. My mind is blown right now. I saw this firsthand, and then I confirmed that this is like a normal practice. This happens all the time. Have you ever heard of this? Does this happen where you live? Have you ever heard of it? If you're in Delaware, have you ever heard of this? Have you ever seen this if you're in Delaware? I have heard of people selling their food stamps before. This is such an elaborate scheme. This is such an elaborate scam. My mind is blown. Please confirm to me if you've heard this or not.
First time I'm hearing of it. This isn't just unethical. This is fraud, theft, and organized crime wrapped in one. And guess what? Your tax dollars are funding it. That $60 transaction, it never happened, but the government still paid for it. The corner store clerk pocketing half the money, putting items back on the shelf, and making a killing off of the scam. And yet we're told these programs need more funding. Y'all see that? Trump basically came in and said, nah, I just think it needs a little more accountability. Speaking of fraud, Ohio just got caught. They caught a $150,000 EBT ring that ran for months.
On the screen in Franklin County Common Pleas Court, Ayanat Bizga, one of the three accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars out of Ohio's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP.
You understand? Yes, I understand. I mean, no. Tell them.
Due to a language barrier, a judge continued his case and the case of Dowena Maria Baselan that involves 5 counts, stating they engaged in a criminal enterprise starting last summer to steal more than $150,000 worth of welfare benefits. It's at that same time
Taking a gentleman unconscious.
Bizga crashed his minivan into a Columbus fire hydrant and was rushed to OSU East. Officers couldn't find an ID for Bizga, and he was cited for not having a driver's license.
Looks like a temp tag out of Texas. That don't look legit.
Officers couldn't match the temp tag from Texas in any database. Another plate from Virginia was found inside the van.
This is important. Your client does have an ICE holder.
The Ohio Department of Job and Family Services has reported losing $17 million in SNAP benefits due to fraud and theft since the summer of 2023.
I'm not guilty. I'm not guilty. That's it.
Bizga is maintaining his innocence, but not on court record until he's provided a Romanian interpreter.
Investigators say they used stolen SNAP benefits to buy candy and energy drinks, then turned around and sold them. A multi-agency crackdown led to seizures of cash, gold, cloned cards, and skimming devices. Officials say you do need to stay alert, guard your card information closely, and report any suspicious activity.
Let's really think about this. They were stealing candy and energy drinks and using clone cards, then flipping it for profit. They had a hustle going, huh? Good old criminal enterprise backed by your paycheck. And a cherry on top, the suspect didn't even have a driver's license. And had an ICE hold. while Americans suffer under inflation that's going under. Yeah. We're literally, I guess what I will say, because we're not suffering from inflation. I guess my thought process is more like, you got people out here who really went through the ringer and busted they ass, went to work, really tried to make something shake just to watch outside freeloaders drain the system dry. Now, contrast all of that with this final clip. A woman who's truly suffering, truly trying, and can't get it done.
Dear food stamp office people, we need to eat too. It's not fair for certain people to get stamps and certain people not to be able to receive stamps. We need to eat too. Being that I'm a captain of a lost ship, after I pay my bills, all my expenses and things, there's not enough left to buy groceries. Groceries have went up tremendously. I have not had an egg in 3 months. No proteins whatsoever. Can't afford meat. I can't keep going to Walmart. Self-checkout is the only where I go in Walmart. Ringing up 2 items but putting 7 in the bag. Eventually, I will get caught. I feel in the spirit I will get caught. I have kids to take care of. That depends on me. It's not fair. Everybody should be entitled to government assistance. P.S. I'm signing off now. Captain of a lost ship.
She ain't had an egg in 3 months, can't afford protein, stealing groceries at self-checkout until in her spirit she feels she's going to get caught. Sounds sad, right? But it's parody, man. Come on, we all know. You just watched it like me. And the powerful one, though, because it perfectly exposes how broken and normalized this entitlement culture has become. No job, no plan, no accountabilities, being had at all. Just blame the system and ask for more. And the worst part, we've seen someone like this in real life. You know somebody like that. I mean, we've seen a lot of these clips. This is what happens when the government becomes your daddy. The taxpayer becomes the piggy bank and effort becomes optional. We now have people who think $800 per kid per month is right. While the actual working class, the people that make this country run, get nothing but silence. That ain't justice, man. That's the death of accountability. Y'all be safe. Go check up somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.